5 o'clock somewhere.
Okay, this is Jill for today.
And this is non-alcoholic beer, so don't worry about us.
No, okay. Well, okay.
First of all,
Go ahead.
please excuse my unshaven face, but I haven't had a very good week.
I have a whole list here. You know what I started out looking at is the little thing there. So my eyes were not in the camera. I apologize. Okay.
What is this? Is this?
This is you. Where were you? I said it already.
Oh.
This is Jill for today.
I was so wrapped up in my own problems.
So I have this list. It's like a mile long. Okay. And then he decides to add to it. So we'll get to the big one.
Not intentionally.
No. We'll get to the big one and we'll work down. So yesterday, we've been delivering some cookies to some friends. And I was busy making more cookies. He says, well, I'll take them to Tracy and John. And I said, well, that's just great. And we kind of do this little exchange. So he goes up to the doorstep and he delivers the beer and then...
Delivers the what?
The beer.
Oh, the beer. You said cookies.
No, he delivered beer. We got cookies. Okay. See how screwed up this is? Go.
Anyway, I was concerned they might come to the door. We didn't want to have any contact because Jill was still with no immunity. So anyway, I'm trying to make a hasty retreat from the door. I proceed to miss one of the steps coming down from their front door. I go careening out into their yard, crash through a small tree, and fall, landing in a pond in their front yard. I'm lying there. I can't catch my breath. I can't get up. I'm lying there pitifully, saying, help me. Nobody's there to help me. So I finally make my way up. I am literally drenched.
From the pond?
From the waist down, one leg, my shoe. I get up. I still can't breathe. I make my way across their lawn. I don't even look back. I go down the stepping stones they have at the top of this wall, hop down off the wall, make it into the car. We have some plastic grocery bags, vinyl or whatever.
Tote bag things, yeah.
I lay those on the front of the seat so I don't get the car sopping, and I leave. And, I still can't breathe.
I get this call, and he says, I'm hurt. And I said, God, what's wrong? And he starts to tell me the story. And I'm thinking, and so he came home, and I met him with the garbage bag at the door and got all his clothes off, got those in the laundry. And I was visiting with my friend Diane today, texting. I told them what had happened to Randy. And I said, it's gotten to a point in my life, our life, that when he goes out by himself, I'm not afraid he's going to have an affair. I'm afraid he's going to hurt himself.
But you notice how this went more from Randy's story to now Jill's story.
How I was Nurse Florence, and
Bottom line is I scraped up my leg pretty badly, and I scraped up my elbow and got a cut on my arm. I've got lots of aches and pains this morning, but I'm alive and as ornery as ever.
You are.
Yep.
So then...
That was yesterday.
Today, he says to me, there's just a little bit of refried beans in there, leftovers. Can I eat those? I'm hungry. I said, go for it. So we have these little glass bowls. He puts them in there.
We had a little glass bowl.
He heats it up in the microwave. And he starts to come over to the table. And kabowie, he drops this bowl of hot refried beans with a little cheese everywhere. Of course, the glass bowl breaks.
It didn't break. It shattered.
Yeah. So we've just spent the last 20 minutes trying to clean that up. He had to get the vacuum out, had to mop the floor.
Looking for little bright crystals of glass.
And I broke one of those bowls last week, as you may recall. So he says to me, we need to get rid of these glass bowls. And I said, we're doing a pretty good job of it right now, just breaking them every time we try to use them.
They shatter, and I think they're dangerous. I don't know if porcelain shatters any less badly.
You can see it at least. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, that's my tale of woe for the week?
Oh, it's a terrible tale of woe. And all this time, I have been trying to make a batch of pecan tassies, which I've never done before, but I've got some great recipes.
I didn't know what a tassie was.
You didn't. And so I've been trying to get that darn thing done. And every time I say, okay, it's tassie time, something else happens. This afternoon, it's tassie time. That's it. Tassie
Okay.
time. Okay. All right, so let's see here. Okay, I thought because this is Christmas week coming up.
It is?
You know,
Whoa.
I know it. And we were talking about this during our coffee time. How people, and there's a lot of you out there, I know it, and thank goodness that a lot of us are retired now, but some of us still have to work. His sister has 3 grown children, and they have a combination of 9 grandchildren. So she's got 9 grandkids, 3 kids. We know she's got several people in her life that she also exchanges gifts with. Her husband, and then she works full time. And she does a lot of baking, and of course they always host the family do.
And her husband works
Like a dog.
part-time, but he also runs a small herd of
Angus.
Angus cows, which don't take a day off, don't take holidays off. They need to be fed and watered and cared for. And
I don't know how they do it. I honest to goodness don't. And you know, when we were both working, we don't have children. But when we
We don't?
I'm sorry, I meant to mention that to you.
Oh.
So it took you 46 years to figure that one out. So when we were working full time, I thought it was like a nightmare. You know, it's so difficult. Of course, we had our own siblings to buy gifts for, and our parents, and that's terribly difficult. And it is. But you know, she said, "I love doing it." Yeah, it's hard.
she doesn't love the work anymore.
Her work.
Yeah.
Her office work.
She just got a new boss. Not good.
So we know how that is.
Although the new boss rarely shows up at the office. So.
Yeah, so that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on down this list.
Okay.
All right.
We're on a roll.
We are. I think we've gone through all the major hurts and wounds and battle
Although
cries.
I'm going to be hurting and wounded
You
for
are.
a few days.
Oh, I've been
I
having
think.
him on high speed Tylenol, and last night we gave him some bourbon and put him to bed. All right, so
Yeah, last night was the longest night's sleep I've had in
well,
a year. I slept 9 hours.
yeah, it's pretty good for you.
The night before, maybe that was part of the problem with my clumsiness. I was
Oh.
up. Yeah, I got up at 2:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
and I didn't go to bed that early. So
No.
No.
It could be. I don't.
anyway,
whatever.
I'm still alive. Good deal.
Yeah. And he didn't break anything. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
could
yeah.
you imagine what he could, except
As
for
far
a
as
tree
we
and a few
know.
bushes. He didn't
Yeah,
break
I wiped
anything.
out their pond and a small tree, but hey, you know,
They're friends, right?
what are friends for?
This week, I made a pork chop meal.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. And I will have the recipe. It was so good. I took pork, and this was in a slow cooker, which is my Instant Pot, which they have a slow cooker function on it, and that's what I use for my slow cooker. Took those pork chops, and I just browned them. And then I left them in there, of course. Deglazed the pan with orange juice and chicken broth. And then I put about half a cup, maybe 3/4 of a cup of orange marmalade over those pork chops. Lid, a little garlic. Lid. Let those cook on low for like 6 hours. Because I always try to put something in the pot when I go on chemo. And Tuesday was chemo day. So when we come home, dinner is really cooked. It was what?
Oh, it was great.
so
Who would have
good.
known?
Yeah, it was really
Orange
good.
marmalade on.
And it wasn't too orangey. It was delicious. So that was really cool. All right.
Really good.
We watched, okay, first of all, tell them about,
Oh.
go ahead.
We're
Incredible story.
Our internet, television, and phone services through a company we have out here called Xfinity. Used to
Slash
be
Comcast.
Comcast. It's now Xfinity. Anyway, Xfinity to their customers offers a rewards program. And we've been with Xfinity for
my gosh.
more than, 10, 12 years,
Oh, yeah,
something
at
like
least,
that.
yeah.
But anyway, so we're at the highest level of their rewards program.
The
So-
diamond level.
So I saw something in there about rewards, about getting a movie, or I guess it was
A free showing
get a
of,
free copy to own of It's a Wonderful Life.
that's correct.
So anyway, I went into the rewards program menu and I looked at what was available to us. So we got our free copy of It's a Wonderful Life. It's ours we own, and we can watch it anytime we want, as many times
It's on our
as we
DVD
want.
thing, you know.
But they also offered us a movie rental up to $5.99 for $1. So we did that. On top of that, there were
Incredible.
2 additional rewards we took advantage of. One was a free Wi-Fi speaker, which is going to be mailed to us. The other was a free $100 prepaid Visa card,
Can you imagine?
which is going to be mailed to us. And it doesn't cost us a cent other than we have to pay our regular internet and TV bill.
And as I said to him, there were some things he said expires on. And I said, how many things have fallen off that back shelf, if
And
you
we-
will,
we
that
hadn't even
know?
bothered to check.
But, okay, so that $6, that free movie, we watched Cruella. We saw I was thinking about the movies we'd seen this week. We watched Cruella.
Very interesting.
Oh my goodness, it was. It was really interesting. Actually, they kind of, when you first start off, you say, well, this is a Tim Burton movie. I mean, it had that flavor to it, if you've seen Tim Burton movies. And then all of a sudden, you had this kind of Dalmatian, story about the 101 Dalmatians. I'm not going to go any further than that. Then it kind of felt like the movie Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, there was an aspect of that to it,
A
too.
little Cinderella in there. It was a really interesting movie.
It's kind of the background on how did Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians come into being. It's a Disney film, and it stars Emma Stone and Emma
Thompson. Oh,
Thompson.
God, I love her.
They both did a great job.
They did. It was
very
awfully good. A
enjoyable.
very interesting movie. Okay, so I got that. If you'll see here, I mean, this list is so long. But it was Christmas week, and I thought you and I might go over just a couple little things that has happened in our past again. One of the things we talked about, I was looking through our grocery ads, the paper ones that come through, and they had Whitman chocolate samplers, for sale. And we were talking about how cool that was, that you opened it up and it gave you a road map of what was in the box. So this spot had chocolate covered cherries, and this spot had a caramel, and I always loved that. That was so cool, really. And you always gave somebody a Whitman sampler, always.
Because who doesn't like stale candy?
Yeah, it never was really very good, was it? But anyway, that was always fun.
Speaking of candy,
Speaking of candy,
and back to the
Fall
down story, the people whose steps I fell off of and tree and pond that I destroyed got to see this right after the fact on their home security system. Their camera picked it up. They felt so bad that last night they sent us a box of C's truffles.
delicious truffles.
Wonderful. They're nice. They're
What a
terrific
wonderful,
people.
I
but
just
what a
I'm
wonderful
sorry,
gesture.
gift. Yeah.
It's too bad that DoorDash delivered it to somebody else.
The Thompsons. The Thompsons.
No, the Marshalls.
Oh, the Marshalls. They delivered it to the Marshalls.
Whoever the heck the Marshalls are. We live in a condominium complex. and
Hard to say.
It's not that many units, but we don't know any Marshalls. So anyway, our friend called DoorDash, and they redelivered another to us. So last night, the Marshalls and us both got to enjoy C's
candy.
truffles. So
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
I'll shut up.
Where was I going? No, where was I going with that?
Where you had been talking about
The
Whitman's
Whitman's
sampler.
chocolate. The other thing is that when we were, living at home, and I remember this, I was a teenager, and after Christmas, you got all this wrapping paper, and normally we would stick it, in the garbage can. Well, so my father decided that one year he wanted just to shove it in the fireplace and let it burn. He had so much paper in that fireplace that and of course the paper has all this, paint and metal and all that stuff on there. That thing took off like a rocket. And we had fire coming out of the fireplace up over onto the mantle. And like, we're just like,
Her father was a fun, can-do kind of guy.
just kind of in shock. We all kind of sat there just kind of fixated on this. And Dad went with the fire poker to try to push it back into the fireplace. He did it, but in the meantime, there's, you know how the paper kind of flicks out when it's, oh my gosh, almighty. It was terrible.
And that wrapping paper leaves a coating of stuff on the inside of your chimney, which will make it susceptible to chimney fires later on.
So don't burn your fire chimney and stuff in that. And the other thing I thought was such a sweet story about Santa. We were talking about Santa Claus last week, and the sweet story about I don't want to tell it out loud. The one where you go to church when you go to church and you come home.
Oh.
It's a sweet story.
Was that sweet?
I like the story.
We always had presents on Christmas Eve, not Christmas Day. I don't know why, but that's just the way it was. And we'd go to my grandparents' house, who lived not that far away from us in the city growing up. And then we'd have Christmas Eve dinner or something, and my mother and father and my brother and sister and I would go to church service on Christmas Eve. And when we got back to my grandparents' house, Santa Claus had come. There were all kinds of presents.
Exciting.
And either we were so stupid we couldn't figure out what was going on, or we just didn't care because there were presents. And
I love
we
that.
still have all kinds of old photographs left over from when we were little kids. My brother and I in our pajamas with our little army hats on, and
that's a
we
good
got
one.
these great rifles that you've shoved ping pong balls down the barrel, and then you pumped them and they fired ping pong balls using air pressure. We were always at war.
Your poor mother.
Yeah. Poor everybody. There were some broken plates and dishes in those days.
Oh my gosh! I know it. The other one. I told the story 3 years ago. Speaking of Christmas Eve and opening presents, we always opened our presents on Christmas Day. That was it. Period. End of topic. No, my sister Susan, who's now deceased, she was the oldest in the family. She absolutely had to have Christmas on Christmas Eve. Every year, could we please open? No. So one year we finally caved in. My parents caved in, we caved in. Okay, fine. Well, we opened those gifts on Christmas Eve. And I want to tell you, that was the biggest thud in that house. We woke up Christmas morning and it was like, oh my God. We were like, what do we do now? My father, bless his heart, there was a little drugstore in town and it happened to be open. But it carried all kinds of stuff. And he went down there and he bought gifts, not expensive ones, little gifts for all of us, and had them wrapped at that store. And he brought them home and he saved the day. I'll tell you, we were all pretty upset about the fact. And Susan, she didn't care. We cared. Never again did that happen. Anyway, I'm doing a lot of baking. Getting
She
stuff
is?
back. I'm trying things that I've
she
never
made some
tried before.
dynamite shortbread.
I did. My Aunt Madeline's recipe. Aunt Madeline was
really
like
good stuff.
95.
She was.
Yeah. Oh, she got, I think, 99.
Yeah.
And she was sharp as a tack. That woman could remember everything to the Civil War.
Except she would tell you about her wedding ceremony and all the ushers and bridesmaids.
And her showers.
Every time you saw her.
Yep, she did. She loved to tell that story. Yep. So anyway, I've been doing, and today I am tackling tassies, which I've never made. The other one I'm going to do is English toffee. I used to there were, go ahead.
Yes.
Many years ago, I decided I was going to make English toffee. And I tried it once, and of course it broke and separated, which is common. And I tried to make it again another year or two later. It broke and separated. I've gone online and I've looked for foolproof English toffee recipes. Now I've got 2 of them, and I'm trying one of them today. You think I should do that on camera to show them the do's and don'ts of making English toffee? Well, if it's a fail, they'll know.
Chance. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Go for it.
All right. We love you all, and we hope you have a wonderful holiday.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. We have Kwanzaa coming up, so happy Kwanzaa to all those out there. We missed Hanukkah. Happy belated Hanukkah. And we just think the world of you. You are actually part of our life.
Anybody
right?
needs coal.
Really.
I've got that collection that I've saved every year that Santa Claus brought me.
He didn't
so.
put coal in your stocking. He put lots of happy things. Oranges
happy
and
things.
apples and nuts.
Nuts.
And little candies.
You remember?
The ribbon candies. Do you remember the ribbon candy with the
No.
little... Oh, yes, you do. The candy that was like a ribbon and it was
Yeah.
striped.
Speaking
Love
of,
that stuff.
Speaking of nuts, I have to tell you one last story. As she came out of the bedroom this morning with a ring I hadn't seen on her in forever. It's a beautiful ring with little
diamonds.
little diamonds all around or
Just
around the top.
yeah.
Anyway, I hadn't seen her wear it forever, and she reminded me of the story of how she got that. I bought that for her one Christmas, and she had a girlfriend who is also gone now. And anyway, she helped me take apart a walnut intact, and we hauled out the walnut, and I put the ring in there, and then we glued the walnut back together, and I put that in her Christmas stocking.
And as I was pulling stuff out, of course, I just thought it was a walnut. And as we were pulling it out, he says, "Now you be careful. There might be something there." And I'm looking and I'm thinking, I'm missing something. And he had to finally say, "I think you may want to open this walnut." Oh, what a wonderful story. It was a beautiful ring.
Yeah.
But now I get to wear it.
Yes.
Because I have not been able, to wear that ring for many years. So that's an exciting thing, is I get to wear that ring. Okay, this is it. Are we done here?
I am.
All
because
right.
I have a major headache.
Oh, honey, we'll get you some Tylenol. We
I
love
just
y'all.
took some.
Happy holidays, and we will see you next time.
Yeah.
And don't forget, I always say this now because I love this. We are so happy that you are with us taking this nutty ride called life.
Oh, life, yes. I forgot. I must have had a head injury.
See y'all later.
Anyway, take care, and if you get the opportunity this season, pay it forward.
Pay it forward. Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.